Where is in our creation the botch that makes us great? Oh, that's good, darling. That's very good. I'm proud of you, David. I think it stinks, he said evenly, but anyway, there are 2 more verses. David. Grimly, he spat out the last 8 lines. Why are we ever gimleted by empire's irony? Is discontent the cancered pride of Earthman's galaxy? Lenora, recoiling from his cold fury, was a shaking pair of shoulders and a mass of lank hair supported by her hands on her face while she sobbed. Are souls so much perverted? Can we not relent? Or are the stars the madman's cost for his inborn discontent? Good night, Lenora. Section 6. The light flickered on Marlowe's interphone. Good morning, Mr. Secretary. Good morning, Mary. What's up? Harrison's being deported from Dovenil, sir. There's a civil crime charged against him. Quite a serious one. Marlowe's eyebrows went up. How much have we got on it? Not much, sir. Harrison's report hasn't come in yet, but the story's on the news broadcasts now, sir. We haven't been asked to comment yet, but emigration has been called by several news outlets, and the Ministry for Education just called here and inquired whether it would be all right to publish a general statement of their exchange students' careful instructions against violating local customs. Marlowe's glance brooded down on the mass of papers piled in the tray of his inbox. Give me a tape of a typical broadcast, he said at last. Hold everything else. Present explanations to all news outlets. None now. A statement forthcoming after preliminary investigation later in the day. The Ministry regrets this incident deeply and will try to settle matters as soon and as amicably as possible, etc., etc. Okay? Yes, sir. He swung his chair around to face the screen let into a side wall, and colors began to flicker and run in the field almost immediately. They steadied and sharpened, and the broadcast tape began to roll. Dateline, Dovenil, Sector 3, Day 183, 2417 GST. Your topical news reporter on this small planet at the Union's rim was unable today to locate for comment any of the high officials of this alien civilization directly concerned with the order for the deportation of exchange student observer Hubert Harrison, charged with theft and violent assault on the person of a Dovenilid citizen. Union citizen Harrison was unavailable for comment at this time, but topical news will present his views and such other clues when more ensues. Marlowe grunted. Journalese was getting out of hand again. That last rhyming sentence was sure to stick in the audience's brains. It might be only another advertising gimmick, but if they started doing it with the body of the news itself, it might be well to feed Topical enough false leads to destroy what little reputation for comprehensibility they had left. He touched his interphone switch. Mary, what was the hooper on that broadcast? Under 1%, sir. Which meant that so far the body politic hadn't reacted. Thank you. Is there anything else coming in? Not at the moment, sir. What's What's Dalishud Klavan doing? His residence is the Solar Hostel, sir. The management reports that he is still in his room and has not reserved space on any form of long-distance transportation. He has not contacted us either, and there is a strong probability that he may still be unaware of what's happened. How many calls did he make yesterday, either before or after he was here, and to whom? I can get you a list in 10 minutes, sir. Do that, Mary. He switched off, sat slapping the edge of his desk with his hand, and switched on again. Mary, I want the gen serves on the Dovenil area to a depth of 10 cubic lights. Yes, sir. And get me Mr. Meade on the phone, please. Yes, sir. Marlowe's lips pulled back from his teeth as he switched off. He snatched a candy bar out of his drawer, tore the film part way off, then threw it back in the drawer as his desk phone chimed. Here, Chris. Here, Mr. Marlowe. Look, Chris, has Holiday left Earth yet? Yes, sir. Yes, Dave. Where is he? Luna, en route to Karlshaven. He was lucky enough to have me arrange for his accidentally getting a ride on a GenServe ship that happened to be going that way, if you follow me. Meade grinned. Get him back. The smile blanked out. I can't do that, Mr. Marlowe. He'd never be able to take it. You should have seen him when I put him on the shuttle. We doped him up with easy rest, and even then his subconscious could feel the bulkheads around him, even in his sleep. Those shuttles are small, and they don't have ports. We can't help that. We need him, and I've got to talk to him first, personally." Meade bit his lip. "Yes, sir, Dave. Yes, Dave." Section 7. Dalish ud Klavan sat easily in his chair opposite Marlowe. He rested one digit on his notebook and waited. "Ud Klavan," Marlowe said amiably, "you're undoubtedly aware by now that your opposite number on Dovenil has been charged with a civil crime and deported." The Dovenilid nodded. "An unfortunate incident, one that I regret personally, and which I am sure my own people would much rather not have had happened." "Naturally," Marlowe smiled. "I simply wanted to reassure you that this incident does not reflect on your own status in any way. We are investigating our representative and will take appropriate action, but it seems quite clear that the fault is not with your people. We have already forwarded reparations and a note of apology to your government. As further reparation, I wish to assure you personally that we will cooperate with your personal observations in every possible way. If there is anything at all you wish to know, even what might under ordinary conditions be considered restricted information, just call on us." Ud Klavan's chest stirred a fraction of an inch, and Marlowe chuckled inwardly. Well, even a brilliant spy might be forgiven an outward display of surprise under these circumstances. The Dovenilid gave him a piercing look, but Marlowe presented a featureless facade of bulk. The secretary chuckled in his mind once more. He doubted if Ud Klavan could accept the hypothesis that Marlowe did not know he was a spy, but the Dovenilid must be a sorely confused being at this point. "Thank you, Marlowe," he said finally. "I am most grateful, and I am sure my people will construe it as yet another sign of the Union's friendship." "I hope so, Ud Klavan," Marlowe replied. Having exchanged this last friendly lie, they went through the customary Dovenilid formula of leave-taking. Marlowe slapped his interphone switch as soon as the alien was gone. Mary, what's the latest on Holiday?" "His shuttle lands at Idlewild in half an hour, sir." "All right. Get Mr. Meade. Have him meet me out front, and get an official car to take us to the field. I'll want somebody from Emigration to go with us. Call Idlewild and have them set up a desk and chairs for 4 out in the middle of the field. Call the Ministry for Traffic, and make sure that field stays clear until we're through with it. My ministerial prerogative. And no backtalk. I want that car in 10 minutes. "Yes, sir." Mary's voice was perfectly even, without the slightest hint that there was anything unusual happening. Marlowe switched off and twisted his mouth. He picked up the GenServe on the Dovenil area and began skimming it rapidly. He kept his eyes carefully front as he walked out of his office, past the battery of clerks in the outer office, and down the hall. He kept them rigidly fixed on the door of his personal elevator, which, during the day, was human operated under the provisions of the Human Employment Act of 2302. He met Meade in front of the building, and did not look into the eyes of Bussard, the man from Emigration, as they shook hands. He followed them down the walk in a sweating agony of obliviousness, and climbed into the car with carefully normal lack of haste. He sat sweating, chewing a candy bar for several minutes before he spoke. Then, slowly, he felt his battered defenses reassert themselves, and he could actually look at Bussard before he turned to Meade. "Now then," he rapped out a shade too abruptly before he caught himself. "Here's the GenServe on the Dovenil area, Chris. Anything in it you don't know already?" "I don't think so, sir." "Okay. Dig me up a habitable planet. Even a long-term false E will do. Close to Dovenil, but not actually in their system if it's at all possible. I want that world in a system without any rich planets, and I don't want any rich systems anywhere near it. If you can't do that, arrange for the outright sale of all mineral and other resource rights to suitable companies. I want that planet to be habitable, but I want it to be impossible for any people on it to get at enough resources to achieve a technological culture. Can do?" Meade shook his head. I don't know." "You've got about 15 minutes to find out. I'm going to start talking to Holiday, and when I tell him I've got another planet for him, I'll be depending on you to furnish one. Sorry to pile it on like this, but must be." Meade nodded. "Right, Mr. Marlowe. That's why I draw pay." "Good boy. Now, Rabbit, Bussard, I want you to be ready to lay out a complete advertising and prospectus program. Straight routine work, but about 4 times normal speed. The toughest part of it will be following the lead that Chris and I set. Don't be surprised at anything, and act like it happens every day." "Yes, Mr. Marlowe." "Right." Bussard looked uncomfortable. Mr. Marlowe?" "Yes?" "About this man, Harrison. I presume